Let's bring in Leslie Sanchez and Antjuan Seawright. Leslie is a CBS News political contributor and Republican strategist, and Antjuan is a CBS News political contributor and Democratic strategist. All right, welcome to you both. Antjuan, so Thursday's Democratic primary debate will likely be filled with some talk of impeachment. Is that what Democrats really want to be talking about?
No, and I don't think these candidates should be talking about it because at the end of the day, there's something called separation of powers. We have a legislative branch and an executive branch. They're running for the executive branch, so they should focus on the issues that they would do if they were in the executive branch. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure voters who will be casting their vote in the Democratic presidential primary are looking for answers when it comes to impeachment. But instead, they're looking for what would they do different and how would they counter the failures of this current president. And I think Democrats have to stay focused. The American people trusted the Democratic majority. Let the Democratic majority do their work. Democratic presidential candidates do their work. Rob Bass said it takes two to make the thing go right.
You always like to pull out that Rob Bass quote, I know.
It works.
So, Leslie, President Trump is the first president to be impeached and be running a re-election campaign. How do you expect his campaign to message around that ahead of 2020?
I think he started it tonight with this 2-hour response to the president's debate. You know, there's a lot that's going on, particularly with the base not feeling that this was a very cynical stunt. And until we change the dynamic out there and you start getting him a direct Democratic candidate, he's going to continue to make impeachment the #1 issue to be talking about.
So, Antjuan, as we mentioned, there are Democratic senators who are running for president. What does that mean for them now that they're going to miss time from the campaign trail?
It means that they have a duty and responsibility to first and foremost serve as U.S. senator from their respective state. And I think you have to do first things first, because when it's all said and done, if they're not the nominee, they're going to be the U.S. senator from that particular state. And people elected them to be senator, not to be running around the country per se and focusing on their next job without doing their first job. And I think these senators understand that. What could be beneficial to them if they put together the right operation and had the right resources to speak for them while they're doing their first job as U.S. senator.
So, Leslie, some senators who are seeking re-election in 2020 may have already been seen as vulnerable. So what does President Trump's impeachment mean for them?
Sure. They're going to have a tremendous amount of difficulty trying to get national attention on anything other than impeachment. And it's exactly right. And I think Caitlin brought up some really important points. Unless they're sitting there in the chamber and really seen on a national level, it's going to be difficult for them to get anything above and beyond talking, particularly to talk about their agenda, to talk about the resources they want to put, the change they want to make. And all the focus and the dollars are very much being manipulated by President Trump in the campaign.
So, Antjuan, today we saw a basically united Democratic Party, but how do you expect that to play out tomorrow?
I don't think things change. Look, I think that no one can dispute we have differences within our party, but I think the differences we have among each other do not compare to the differences we have with the other side, and I think people understand that.
Leslie, do Republicans have any choice but to be a show of force against Democrats?
Republicans have a lot of reasons to be a show of force, not only because of the strong economy. The president has delivered on a lot of the campaign promises, even as difficult as they were. Everything from border wall to ensuring that you had the conservative judges on the Supreme Court, all the way down ballot. There were additional federal judges being kind of confirmed today. So there's a lot of significance in what the president's doing, from trade deals to national security, and that's what they're going to run on. I don't think that they're going to lose focus. And again, the backdrop to all of this is the very strong economy. Should that factor change, especially in those swing states, then you have kind of a different dynamic moving through 2020.
I think my dear friend is right, and I think what Democrats have to do is we have to find the magic that's going to motivate and galvanize us to turn out in ways that Republicans use immigration, judges, and so forth to turn them out. And if we don't have that one magic spot, we're going to repeat the sins of 2016 and find ourselves not taking back that temporary public housing unit at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh my gosh! But the thing with many voters is they're not looking for transactional presidents, right? They're not just these one-off. They tend to give presidents 2 terms to execute whatever it is they're going to do. What is the leadership style that is in contrast to President Trump that is really going to resonate? It's going to be hard to find that. This is not a policy debate. I think Republicans learned that in the 2015, 2016 primaries. This is about style and getting things done. And that's a very different approach that even the Democrats, I've yet to see someone on the platform who can
I'll give you the
match
last word,
that.
Antjuan.
And that's what we got to get back to.
Yeah.
We've allowed the president to take us away from policy to personality. And we've got to get back to policy because most people would agree that arguably he has not delivered on some of the major policy things that the American people want, like gun reform, like wages, like lowering prescription drug prices, like dealing with health care. And I think that's the argument we can win if we package it right. But if we don't and we get caught up into the personality debate, we'll lose.
All right, to be continued, Leslie Sanchez and Antjuan Seawright, thank you both very much.